When I was a teenager, I mean, I was always constantly comparing myself to the people that you see on social media or the people that you see on TV or in the news. I had a lot of health problems when I was younger, including bulimia and anorexia. I wouldn't eat for like days because eating would make me sick because I hadn't eaten in so long.
At what age was the self-harm happening?
It was between like 12 and 15. And I, had acne and braces, and all my friends were very cute. So I always felt like I needed to like kind of live up to that expectation and like be kind of on their level almost. And when I couldn't do it, I just would get really depressed. I just wanted to feel something, and that's kind of when the self-harming came into effect. And like I said, it's horrible to think that you need to do that to feel something. And none of my parents know. My mom or my dad don't know that I ever did that.
What would they say? Because they may see this.
I think they'd be really surprised. Probably pretty upset and sad. Just that they couldn't help more or whatever. But it was never bad enough that I was at the hospital or, really bleeding really bad on my wrist that it was scary for me or anything like that. So I kind of knew how to keep it under control. Typical things, just wearing like sweatshirts around my parents and stuff like that, so they didn't see. But I think they would be sad that I did that, but happy that I don't anymore.
What was helpful in stopping?
Talking to other people, other girls about it that were doing it as well, and hearing their reasons for it and why they thought they needed to do it, because it's almost similar to kind of being in an abusive relationship. If you're in one yourself, you think this is how it's supposed to be, or maybe you're doing something to cause it. When I would hear other girls talk about their cutting problems, the first thought would pop into my head would be like, well, she's gorgeous, she's skinny, she's perfect, she has good grades, she's good at sports, all these things. I'm like, why does she have any reason to self-harm? And then I would think, like, why can't she just stop? But at the same time, it would go back to me, and I'm like, a lot of those girls thought very similar things about me. They thought that I was perfect, and they thought that I had everything, but then I was still doing it. So, if my first thought about these women is, why are they doing it, and why can't they just stop? That should be my first thought about myself. Like, why am I doing this to myself, and why can't I stop? So then I just kind of realized that it wasn't helping me, and that there were a lot healthier outlets that I could be using instead of self-harming, and that I didn't want to do this for the rest of my life.
You talk about something really important, which is how people perceive themselves, and measuring. You said it earlier, like I was around the pretty girls and I had all these flaws.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not just being around that, it's being around the magazines, right? The image of what you're supposed to look like when you're beautiful.
I feel like we just need to stop comparing ourselves to other people. And I think that that's kind of ingrained in our brains from a very young age. Anybody who has problems with body dysmorphia or self-harm in any way, those people are really asking for help. Being photographed in the nude was an extremely freeing experience for me. And I was at my most vulnerable state I felt that I had ever been in. Seeing myself in photos like that, it was just like breathtaking and amazing. It was really cool to see myself in that way. I felt extremely sexy and also very powerful. I wanted to do this shoot purely for my own reasons, and I love looking at them, and I show them to my friends, and they all think that I look amazing in them, and they think that I look sexy, and they just can't believe that that's me, and it's really fun to show them off, and you know, I look at them every day. Every time I look at them, I see something different too. Like the lighting, I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that shadow before. Like, I love how that looks on my face, or I love how that silk is just hanging ever so slightly off my thigh like that. And it's really fun to kind of look over at those photos and rediscover new things every time I look at them. And I fall in love with them even more every time I look at them. I don't really believe in fate, but I kind of think that it was meant to happen. Like, I just kind of felt like our connection was really good, and then the camera just was just there. You know what I mean? Like, we would have had the same kind of energy together and the same interactions if we weren't shooting. So I think that helped a lot too. It helped with the comfortability and making everything just turn out as perfect as possible. The fact that you want to provide people with an experience and a memory and confidence going forward in life, you definitely achieve that. It's very freeing to be in that position, and afterwards I just felt great about myself. I was really glad that I did it, that I was a part of it, that you were the photographer I was working with, and it's something that I'll never forget, definitely for the rest of my life. I remember how I felt, and I felt like a badass, and I felt really sexy, and I was super excited to be there and just really happy that I was doing it. And the whole thing was just incredible. Anybody that wants to shoot nude, I would definitely recommend it to do it, because it was a super fun experience. You made it very comfortable, and you made me feel confident in myself as well. I really felt like I could be fully vulnerable and fully myself and do whatever I wanted to do, and you would just be there to support me and capture it along the way. Like I said, it's definitely something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.